Hello students, welcome again in this beautiful world of accountancy. I hope you all are well and please stay at home and be safe. Now to this video I'm going to start one of the most important topic from chapter number 4, that is treatment of goodwill in case of admission of a partner. But before I start, I'll suggest you all to please like and subscribe my channel. Now, if you remember in last class, we had covered computation of sacrificing ratio and new ratio at the time of admission of a partner. But question arises why we will compute those ratios. The need for computing those ratio arises for treating the value of goodwill. Now question arises why treatment of goodwill is required. Treatment of goodwill is required at the time of admission of a partner because जो नया पार्टनर आता है वो एग्जिस्टिंग पार्टनर से डायरेक्टली कुछ ना कुछ बेनिफिट ड्राइव करता है क्योंकि ओल्ड पार्टनर्स ने उस बिजनेस को एस्टेब्लिश किया एंड एज वी नो एट द इनिशियल स्टेज रिस्क इज मोर और वो रिस्क अब उसको बेयर नहीं करना पड़ेगा. सो फॉर कंपनसेटिंग दैट रिस्क ही हैज टू पे समथिंग एक्स्ट्रा. द अमाउंट विच ही पेड इन एडिशन टू हिज कैपिटल एट द टाइम ऑफ एडमिशन ऑफ अ पार्टनर, then that amount is known as goodwill. He is paying that amount for the purpose of super profit or the extra earning which he will made by joining an old business, and the compensation which he paid is known as premium for goodwill. Now once we know the need of treating goodwill at the time of admission of a partner, we should also know that treatment of goodwill varies from one situation to other situation. Those situations can be divided in 6 categories. Case 1, when new partner paid his amount of goodwill privately. It means when partner उस दूसरे पार्टनर्स के घर में जाके पर्सनली दे के आ जाए. In such situation बिजनेस में कोई एंट्री नहीं होगा. Second situation, when new partner brings his share of goodwill in cash and the same is retained in the business. और we can say जब नया पार्टनर गुडविल का पैसा लाएगा और क्वेश्चन साइलेंट हो जाएगा उसके बाद, वी ऑलवेज अज्यूम दैट दैट अमाउंट इज रिटेन इन द बिजनेस. इट मीन्स जो रिटेन वर्ड है अगर वो दिया भी हो या ना दिया हो, वी ऑलवेज अज्यूम दैट दैट मनी इज रिटेन्ड. बट इफ स्पेसिफिकली उन्होंने बोला हो कि वो पैसा विड्रॉ कर लिया, देन सिचुएशन इज डिफरेंट. नाउ केस 3, व्हेन न्यू पार्टनर brings his share of goodwill in cash and that goodwill is partially or fully withdrawn by old partners or sacrificing partners. It means जो भी नया पार्टनर गुडविल का पैसा लाएगा उसको पुराने पार्टनर्स या तो विड्रॉ कर लेंगे पूरे का पूरा या उसका कुछ पोर्शन विड्रॉ करेंगे. केस 4, when new partner bring his share of goodwill in kind, it means other than cash. Or we can say whenever new partner bring his share of goodwill in form of other assets except cash or bank. Case 5, when the new partner is unable to bring, please keep this thing in your mind, when new partner is unable to bring his share of goodwill in cash or kind both. It means जब नया पार्टनर इस पोजीशन में ना हो कि वो अपना गुडविल ना तो कैश की फॉर्म में ला सकता है और ना ही इन फॉर्म ऑफ अदर एसेट्स. In such situation, we will take that goodwill from his capital. Case 6, when new partner bring in only a portion of his share of goodwill. It means जितना उसको लाना था सिर्फ उसका एक पार्ट लेके आता है. And finally, the last case, when goodwill already appearing in the books at the time of admission. It means admission के टाइम जब पहले से ही old goodwills बुक में शो कर रखी हो. Now, when new partner brings his share of goodwill in form of cash, but that amount is paid to sacrificing or partners privately. In case 1, please इस बात को ध्यान रखना, ये goodwill privately pay हो रहा है. It means जो sacrificing partner है उनके घर में जाके pay होके आ रहा है. Therefore, we will not pass any entry for such transaction. Therefore, whenever goodwill is paid privately, no entry is required in the books of firm. Now, case 2. In case 2, when new partner bring his share of goodwill in form of cash and that amount is retained in the business. or we can say when only one thing is given to us, that much amount is brought by new partner for the purpose of goodwill and nothing else is given, we always assume that that amount is retained in the business. In such situation, first entry is when he bring cash for the goodwill. That entry is cash account debit to premium for goodwill. And journal entry number 2, when that amount which he bring for goodwill is to be distributed between sacrificing or old partners. That entry is premium for goodwill to old partner's capital account. Please keep this thing in your mind. That amount of goodwill is to be given to sacrificing partners only. Now, in place of this 2 entry, we can pass single entry. And that entry is cash account debit to old partner's capital account. And again, here old partner's capital account means only those partners which are sacrificing their share in favor of new partner. See what happened here. This premium which is credited here and the premium which is debited here, they will cut down. And in place of that, one entry is passed, that is cash account debit to old partner's capital account. Now, for better understanding of case 2, I am doing one practical problem. In this problem, M and J are partners in a firm. They were sharing profit and losses in the ratio 3:2. They admit R as new partner, and after his admission, new ratio between M, J and R will be 5:3:2. R brought in rupees 25,000 for his share of premium, and they want you to pass journal entry for treating this amount of goodwill. Now, first entry at the time of admission of a partner for bringing goodwill is cash account debit to premium for goodwill by rupees 25,000. But for passing next entry, we need sacrificing ratio. And formula for computing sacrificing ratio when old ratio and new ratio both are given to us is old ratio minus new ratio. When we compute sacrificing share of M, we will get 1/10. And when we compute sacrificing share of J, we will get 1/10. Therefore, their sacrificing ratio is 1:1. It means that 25,000 which new partner brings for his share of goodwill will be shared by sacrificing partner equally. Therefore, entry is premium for goodwill to M and to J. And the amount of goodwill bring by new partner is of rupees 25,000 when we distribute it equally, out of which M will get 12,500 and J will get 12,500. Now case 3. In case 2 and case 3, a minor difference is there. In case 2, whatsoever is bring by new partner for his share of goodwill, that amount is retained in the business. But in case 3, that amount is fully or partially withdrawn by the partners. It means first 2 entries are similar to case 2 for bringing amount of goodwill and for distributing that goodwill in their sacrificing ratio. Major difference arises from third entry. पिछले केस में सिर्फ 2 ही एंट्री था, बट इस केस में एक एडिशनल एंट्री होता है फॉर विड्रॉइंग दैट अमाउंट ऑफ गुडविल, एंड दैट एंट्री इज ओल्ड पार्टनर और सैक्रिफाइसिंग पार्टनर्स कैपिटल अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश ऑब्लिक बैंक अकाउंट एज द केस मे बी. प्लीज इस बात को ध्यान रखना, ये सिचुएशन सिर्फ तभी अराइज होगा if it is specifically mentioned in the question. Now, for better understanding of case 3, I am doing one practical problem. In the given problem, 2 partners are there. The names are A and B. They were sharing profit and losses in the ratio 1:2. They admit C as a partner and who brings 8,000 as his capital and 6,000 as his goodwill for his 1/4 share. The amount of goodwill is immediately withdrawn by the old partners in cash. Please highlight this line. They withdrew this amount of goodwill immediately. Now they want you to pass journal entry and they want you to calculate new profit sharing ratio after admission of C. So first we will calculate new profit sharing ratio. Now if you read this question carefully, आपको easily पता लग जाएगा ये first case है ratio computation का. In that case only 2 things are available to us, old ratio and new partners share. In such case, our first step is to compute remaining share for old partners, that is to be computed by 1 minus new partners share, which is equivalent to 3/4. और ये 3/4 पुराने partners अपने old ratio में distribute करेंगे. Now when we distribute this 3/4 share in their old ratio of 1:2, A will get 1/3 into 3/4, which is equivalent to 3/12, and similarly B will get 6/12. Now after making their denominator same with C, we will get ratio of 1:2:1. After knowing their new ratio, and as we know in case 1 sacrificing ratio हमेशा ओल्ड रेशियो के इक्वल होता है, और केस 1 कौन सा होता है, जिस केस में आपको ओल्ड रेशियो और नए पार्टनर का शेयर दिया हो, इसके अलावा कुछ भी आपको इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल नहीं होगा. इन सच सिचुएशन योर ओल्ड रेशियो विल बी टर्म्ड एज सैक्रिफाइसिंग रेशियो. Therefore, we will distribute the amount of goodwill brought by new partner C in their sacrificing ratio, which is equivalent to their old ratio, and out of which A will get rupees 2000 and B will get rupees 4000. Now, after completing working, let's start journal entries. First entry is for bringing cash for goodwill and capital. That entry is cash account debit to C's capital account to premium for goodwill by rupees 14,000 in front of cash, 8,000 in front of capital, and 6,000 in front of premium for goodwill. And as we know that premium for goodwill is to be shared by partners in their sacrificing ratio. When we distribute that 6,000 in their sacrificing ratio of 1:2, entry will be premium for goodwill account debit to A's capital account to B's capital account by 6,000 and 2,000, 4,000 respectively. Now, as question says specifically that the amount of goodwill is withdrawn by partners immediately, it means sacrificing partner will withdraw this amount, and entry will be A's capital account debit, B's capital account debit to cash account by rupees 2,000, 4,000 and 6,000 respectively. Now case 4. Case 4 arises when new partner brings his share of goodwill in kind. It means in form of other assets. इससे पहले जितने भी हमने केसेस किए, केस नंबर 1, 2, 3, तीनों केसेस में न्यू पार्टनर था, वो अपनी गुडविल को कैश की फॉर्म में ला रहा था या बैंक के थ्रू ला रहा था. बट इन दिस केस ही विल ब्रिंग हिज शेयर ऑफ गुडविल in form of other assets such as land, building, etc. Now, in place of cash, that asset will be debited. Therefore, accounting treatment in this case is first entry for bringing asset by new partner for his capital or goodwill. That entry is assets account debit to new partner's capital account to premium for goodwill. Now again, that premium for goodwill is to be distributed between all partners in their sacrificing ratio. When we distribute that premium for goodwill within all partner, entry will be premium for goodwill to all partners capital account in their sacrificing ratio. Major difference is in first asset, first entry. आप पिछली एंट्री में देखिए हम एसेट्स की जगह कैश लिखते थे, सिर्फ माइनर सा रिप्लेसमेंट आया. इन प्लेस कैश, नाउ वी आर राइटिंग एसेट, नेम ऑफ एसेट. Now, for better understanding of case 4, I am doing one practical problem. In the given problem, two partners are given to us. Their names are X and Y, and they are sharing profit and losses in the ratio 3:2. On 1st April 2018, they admit Z as a new partner for 1/4 share in the profit. Z contributes following assets towards his share of capital and for his share of goodwill: stock of rupees 60,000, debtor of rupees 80,000, land of rupees 1 lakh and plant and machinery of rupees 40,000. Now, on the date of admission of Z, the goodwill of the firm valued at rupees 6 lakh. They want you to pass necessary journal entry in the books of firm after Z's admission. Now, first we will compute Z's share of goodwill, which is equivalent to 6 lakh into his share, which is a 1/4. So that amount is of rupees 1,50,000. And as I told you, in case 2, जो भी गुडविल का पैसा लाएगा वो सैक्रिफाइसिंग रेशियो में बटेगा, और इस क्वेश्चन में जो सैक्रिफाइसिंग रेशियो है वो ओल्ड रेशियो होगा, बिकॉज दिस क्वेश्चन फॉल्स अंडर कैटेगरी 1 ऑफ सैक्रिफाइसिंग रेशियो कंप्यूटेशन, जिसमें मैंने आपको बताया था जब आपके पास ओल्ड रेशियो गिवन हो और नए पार्टनर का शेयर गिवन हो, उसके अलावा कोई और इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं होता, तो आपका ओल्ड रेशियो ही सैक्रिफाइसिंग रेशियो होता है. नाउ आफ्टर कंप्यूटिंग देयर सैक्रिफाइसिंग रेशियो, वी विल डिस्ट्रीब्यूट दिस 150 in their sacrificing ratio, out of which X will get 90,000 and Y will get 60,000. Now we will start passing entry. First we will debit all assets individually: stock, debtor, land, plant and machinery by rupees 60,000, 80,000, 1 lakh and 40,000 respectively, and out of which Z's goodwill is rupees 1,50,000, which is computed by us from this working note. It means remaining 130 will be termed as his capital. Now as I told you, in case 2 जो भी गुडविल का पैसा होता है वो पार्टनर्स में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होता है. Therefore we will distribute this 150 in their sacrificing ratio. An entry will be premium for goodwill account debit to X capital account to Y's capital account, and amounts are 150, 90 and 60 respectively. Now that's it, and remaining cases we will cover in next class. Thank you and goodbye.